Hey Benji,
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing all right. What about you?
Yeah, not too bad. Not too bad at all. Weather's warmed up a bit, so not as cold as I was.
Yeah, same here. We went from -6 to 12 degrees.
Yes, similar. Doesn't normally go high into the minuses for us, and it did. I think we got down as low as like what was the lowest? Apparently -10, um, which was yeah, it was a bit different for us. Right. You are the only other person on the agenda, so I think we might as well start. Uh, we know each other, but nonetheless, we should follow the pattern. So, by being here, we've both agreed to the specification membership agreement, the participation guidelines, the contribution guide, and the code of conduct. We'll introduce ourselves. Hello, everyone. I'm Benji.
Hey, I'm Yovi.
Um, and we, yeah, I'm not going to be able to take notes because apparently all of the agenda items are mine. So if you're able to take
I
some
I
notes,
will, yeah.
thank you very much. Okay, so the agenda is to review the previous meeting's action items, then to look at the other keys are reserved topic, advancing the spec to stage 2, and adding a section on security concerns. So I'm just going to load up the previous action items if there are any. There are indeed. There are two action items, both of which are apparently ready to review. So let's have a quick look at those. There's item number 272, which is to add the changes promoting the spec to RFC2 status. I have done those. That is in pull request number 275. So I'm going to go ahead and close that issue. And the other one is number 273, which is to add the RFC2 status to the next GraphQL spec working group, which I did, and we discussed it at the spec working group and got approval to move it to stage 2. So that is all done, and I shall close it. Okay, fantastic. Right. Um, let's do this in the order that it is in the agenda. So our first topic is make it clear that other keys are reserved. And this was a minor issue in the spec text where it indicated that there were certain keys that are needed when encoding a request, but it didn't forbid people from using other keys in that same object. We do explicitly want to reserve those other keys because we might want to add something else later. And the whole reason of having the extensions property is to give vendors a area that they can add their own keys into. So they can put what they want into extensions, but we reserve this top level thing so that we can add extra things in future, like, I don't know, metadata or like capabilities or any other thing that we wanted to add. So this is a simple additional paragraph to make that clear. It currently has 2 approvals. Do you yourself have any particular feeling on this?
I am very much in favor of this.
Okay, and it's been open for thoughts for a while. I think no one has raised any concerns. So I'll ping Dennis again. But if he's happy with it, then I think we should just go ahead and merge it. If you are in favor, if you could add a approval to that pull request, that would
I
be
will do that.
great. Thank you kindly. The next thing is advancing the spec to stage 2. It effectively has been stage 2 for rather a long time. We just haven't done the official changes of it. I did bring this topic to the main GraphQL working group, and it has been approved, including by Lee himself, that it's fine. We should bump it up to stage 2. And as such, this is more of an announcement that we're doing that. Hooray! Well done, everyone. I am going to go ahead and merge that pull request right now that bumps the spec to stage 2.
Awesome. That's been a long time coming.
It absolutely has. So that's fantastic. Great. Nothing else to discuss about that. I allocated 5 minutes, but it didn't really need that. So on to the next topic. So the next topic is about adding notes about security to the GraphQL-over-HTTP spec. And this is one of the concerns that should be addressed before we go fully to stage 3. Now, how we address this, I think, is going to be interesting because we certainly don't want to have to repeat everything that needs to be known about HTTP security in the GraphQL-over-HTTP spec, because that's going to be a huge burden. And also, those resources are covered elsewhere. That said, we shouldn't ignore those things, and particularly where there's something that is very likely to be done wrong, we should at least mention that. So, for example, when you use particular media types, it can bypass the cross-origin resource sharing. And that then means that if you support certain media types in addition to the ones that are in the spec, then you might open yourself to a security vulnerability there. There are various other things that we are concerned with as well. So ideally, someone will make some edits to the spec to indicate what these various footguns are. I know David Glasser from he's from Apollo, I think, right? Yeah. He raised these issues initially. I guess yourselves at Stellate would also be aware of a number of these things. So if you or anyone else wants to send those pull requests through, I think that is one of the main things left before we can advance this to stage 3 and actually have it be the official specification. Do you have any particular thoughts on that offhand?
Yeah, I'll have some thoughts to see what we do internally. Maybe I can give feedback there as well.
Fantastic. That would be great. I don't think, I was hoping that there would be a larger audience and a big discussion around the various things that we do or don't care about, and whether we should or shouldn't include them, and whether they should be normative notes or whether they should be explicit like musts and shoulds. But I don't have any that I want to raise. So unless you do, I'm happy to call this meeting there.
I mean, I guess there aren't that many GraphQL specific HTTP ones, like GraphQL specific, like abusing limit and such, but like GraphQL and HTTP, I'd have to think a bit.
Yeah, I think there's standard stuff like encouraging people to have rate limits or to limit the size of incoming requests and things like that. But then they're not like concrete, like you should set this to the number 1500 or whatever. Like it's up to you. You just should be aware of these things. But they are generally things that you should be aware of anyway. One other thing I think that's quite significant with GraphQL is response size inflation. So you can write a small query that generates a huge amount of data. And that data might actually not be that expensive to generate in the server side. It might involve, for example, getting from a database a certain number of records and then just repeating those same records over and over and over again, which is actually not going to put strain on your data stores or anything like that, but it will put a strain on actually serializing that data on the server side and, of course, sending it through the web. So there's things like that that need to be thought about that are challenging to address because you don't know how big the response is going to be by just looking at the query document. So there's fun stuff like that too, which I think is probably GraphQL specific. But yeah, a lot of the concerns are generic HTTP security concerns. Cool. All right. Well, I'll let you reach out to the people at Stellate. Hopefully we'll get some more engagement on this issue as well.
Yep.
And then if we can make some progress, that would be fantastic towards getting it to RFC 3 status. Is there anything you would like to discuss?
I mean, not at this given time. Now that we're advancing to stage 2, and next meeting I'll try to pick up persistent operations again, as advancing was kind of the prerequisite, which was shown last meeting.
Yeah, fantastic.
All right, awesome.
I did some work on that, I think. Yeah. I've
Yeah.
got an RFC open on adding like an appendix about that. What work were you thinking of doing on that?
Well, like bringing it up again, seeing if we can get like at least that into a ready state, because like currently how Relay does it, for example, is touching like the additional keys on the request body, things like that.
Yes.
Then we can start excluding those.
Yes, that would be good. Of course, that's going to be something that's going to take some time to migrate over to. Years, I think, and it might be another watershed that we introduce. But again, people can do what they want. Like if you can do stuff that isn't spec compliant and that's still fine. But yeah, like it would be good if everyone just did it in a very similar way. I think Apollo had some hesitations. Just scanning
Yeah,
over the...
their hesitations seem to stem that they are currently rolling out persistent operations on Apollo router, and they were scared about breaking compatibility.
Right. Okay. Yeah, all right. We'll need to reach out to them as well. Do you want to, if you want to push this forwards anymore, would you like to reach out to them?
Yeah, I will see who I can reach.
Okay, fantastic. Since you're taking the notes, if you want to add that as an action item for yourself, that would be great.
Yep.
And other than that, lovely to hang out with you and catch you again at the
Likewise.
next meeting.
Right. See you, Benji. Have a nice day, evening.
Thanks. Cheerio. Bye.